Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined this week by the Conpecco himself. It's Mikey G. Wolf V3. Mikey, hello, Pecco. I don't actually have I don't have Pekora on my desk.
I was going to say this seems to break a pattern, or like you've got Minecraft on a screen and you're just waiting for like a purple-haired lady to wander in the background and start screaming at her. Just
Wouldn't it be strange if I then introduced our special guest?
No, like coming from Japan, a woman who doesn't speak that much English on an English podcast.
No, and probably doesn't know much about Transformers.
I don't know, they're all nerds.
Making a jump.
She knows Gundam.
Yeah, but Gundam's like the national thing. It's like anime and Gundam. They've got giant Gundams in the country.
They've got a giant Gundam in the country. And statues.
They've technically had three at this point. Yeah, the first RX-78, they had the transforming, in quotations, transforming unicorn Gundam, and now they've got the new moving RX-78. Again, at least the unicorn was a bit different, but hey, two RX-78s. I haven't
seen unicorn, so I don't know why it's such a big thing over there. Because I know it is. I know it's a big deal in Japan. I don't know why. I have no context.
I think it was. I think the movie series, the multiple movies, were good, and it's a decent kind of closure to the UC universe. That's probably why it's
it's not even at the end of the UC.
Quite nice.
It's before Victory.
Yeah, no, it's at the end of the UC universe.
No, it's really not. Like I know because I was
Victory doesn't happen.
like F-91 and Crossbone and Victory. They all come after.
Never heard of them.
The Victory. I can tell you, they all like. Apparently, there's a lot of Universal Century stuff after Unicorn. I haven't even seen half of it, and I can tell you that much.
Name
I
one.
just did! I named...
No, you named shows that don't exist.
F-91 exists, Victory exists.
Never heard of it. I think you're making it up.
I think... I know there's another Unicorn thing about the Phoenix afterwards as well.
Yeah, the NT something.
But I think
it's
the Phoenix
is not
hideous.
Good. No, narrative. Gundam narrative. It's not
is
good.
A hideous design. So.
Hey, it's the unicorn. But what if it were gold?
Yeah, what if it looked cheap? I don't really like the unicorn.
Oof.
I like the unicorn well enough when it's not exploded.
What do you mean?
It just sort of explodes. That's how I define it when it transforms, inverted commas.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I actually like that. I like the extra kind of pops of red in there. Looks nice. Looks fancy. Glows. And I like that. It's fun. We're not here to talk about Gundam this week, though. Will. Right.
We all have to admit, whatever we're not here to talk about is what we will end up talking about.
Yeah, probably. More than likely. We're here to talk about Transformers. Unsurprisingly, there's not a lot to talk about, but we're going to crack on with it, as they say. Kicking off with Shockwave Labs SL90 LED upgrade kit for the Earthrise Voyager Quintesson. What does this little kit come with? Well, from the name, you can probably figure out that it comes with some LED units, 5 in fact, for each face. Comes with 4 connectors, which I assume are for said LEDs, for said faces. And the Quintesson Journal unit works as a remote control for the LEDs. So that's kind of nice. It's not a bad idea. Yeah, it shows you basically what you're going to be doing. So you're going to lift up the head, unscrew the back of the face, and then just kind of jam the lights in there. The lights don't actually go like where I thought they would. Because primarily you think LEDs, you go, oh, they're going to put them in the eyes. It's like, no, I would describe it best as the LEDs go in the nose.
They do show here that when you take the faces off, the eyes are a solid piece. So that you couldn't do
exactly, and that's
so
why
you
they
just
can't
stick the connector port in there into the different faces. So and wedge everything in.
And I don't know about you, Mikey, but I think this gives a pretty bad look because all the LEDs are shining. They're shining, but they are literally kind of burning through the white plastic, through the nose area to the kind of upper top lip, and it looks off. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't look good or
I
correct.
think the mistake here is taking photos of it in light. I think if this was in a dark room or something like that, this effect would work a lot better because it would illuminate the whole face and would give it this like ghostly vibe instead of what it is here, which makes because it has to, because there's going to be like there's light here that's leaking out the sides that you won't see unless it is dark. Especially in stuff like the pink light and the yellow light. So I think if they'd taken better photos, it also means like this will only really work visually if you are in the dark. But
okay, I just don't think it'll work because the concentration of that light will be right down in the middle.
It will be. But that will look better when it's not when artificial light is not on it. Trust me on that. But I'm not saying it's the right way to do it. But they are also like, well, we had one spot we could put the eyes or put the light.
It seems like a weird upgrade kit to decide to make for the Quintesson. Like, I'm not sure exactly what... I mean, the journal's quite nice.
I like the journal.
You could give him another pistol. He already comes with one. You could give him more, I suppose.
I think honestly, I get the thinking, and I think it's quite clever to have the journal be a remote control. It gives it a little bit of function.
That is good.
It's just like, I think this is a thing where the toy limited what they could do.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm just going to suggest one other thing they could have done, Mikey. They could have put in a spike
with a hole in his chest.
With a hole in... No, with an energy pulse going through him. I think that, to me, that would have been a cooler... and the journal. Those two things, I would have been like, ooh, that's nice. Personally, for myself, anyway, I don't think the LEDs work. And maybe, like you say, they will have a better effect in no light. I don't know. I think this was a weird choice to make. Unless you've got anything else, Mikey, why don't you tell us about some goddamn fucking boats?
Motherfucker, Bodie McBoatface rises again. So Toyworld revealed the next in their World War II movieverse line. Previously, they've done Starscream and Bumblebee and the tank, whose name I forget, Bulldog. That's it. I think there might be someone else in there. In World War II stylings, and overall they've all looked pretty good. And this time they are doing Jetfire, but not as a plane. He has been redone into a World War II era battleship. The toy is called Skyburst. I'm sure there's a name for the battleship, but I don't care. So yeah, the robot mode is very, very on point for Jetfire. Like, very, very. I'd say maybe the colors, if this thing is colored like an actual battleship and not colored black, that's where this thing will end up looking quite a bit different. But they've even, like, the overall silhouette is pretty damn spot on. There's a nice thing where he's got, like, the battleship cannons are on his shoulders now, or in his backpack. So that's an extra bit of weapon. He comes with a big axe and he comes with a big walking stick, and he transforms into a pretty realistic looking World War II era boat that comes with a little stand and little nameplate thing. But that's not all. This toy can combine with the Studio Series Optimus Prime. I believe that's the Dark of the Moon one.
Does he combine, or does he get ripped into tiny pieces and stuck on Prime like he did in the movie?
Potato. But yeah, so he can basically go on to Prime, and we get a much taller Prime with wing bits on his shoulders and a big ass cannon. Looking a bit more like he's playing with Tidal Wave than he's playing with Jetfire, but again, colors will make the difference there.
That's a good point, actually.
But honestly, like, I think Toyworld's, like, this line, in World War I, sorry, not World War II, but this line has been really solid. I would have liked to have picked up that Bulldog at the time, but it's gone low priority now, and it's just like, secondary market for these things. It's always so much fun. I wasn't really interested in the Starscream or the Bumblebee, but this guy I think turned out really well. I really like the basic mold here. I think it's a nice take on a design no one really liked, but the design that it's a good iteration, and I think it works better as a boat than it did as a plane. Like, it certainly looks cleaner in boat modes as a boat than it did as a plane, you know? I don't know about the combined mode. I think that will be color dependent, but it needs something on the chest.
I think it's safe to assume that a lot of it's just going to be like Jetfire colors. So
yeah,
just
so
black,
it needs something on the chest there. Like, because like that creates the illusion of armor. This just looks like Optimus has murdered a guy and is wearing his limbs, which would be
appropriate.
Would be appropriate. But yeah, that's what's your take on him?
I'm really impressed with how they got the Jetfire toy to look and actually turn into a boat rather than a plane, but him still have the silhouette of the Jetfire that we know from the series. From the movie. I think that's pretty impressive in itself. It's nice that they give you a little stand for said boat, so you can display him in boat mode. That's nice. Again, a little feature, so it's not like, oh, I want to display him as a neat little boat. Oh, no, he's just flopping over. Bummer. Like you say, the combined mode's a bit on the... Optimus Prime is standing on stilts. Very, very big stilts. You mentioned the tidal wave thing, and when I looked at the gun, that definitely gave Armada tidal wave vibes. 100%. Again, it's a line that I don't really have a visual interest in, but I think it seems to be doing some interesting things at the very least. And I look forward to seeing what they do more of, even if it's not something that I want to give money towards. I think it's a valid line that's doing something a little bit different than just making the movie toys. They're going, okay, let's make the movie toys, but what if World War One? And that's kind of nice.
And I'm glad they the plane has never worked visually because the robots either suffered or the vehicle mode suffered. So I think this is a nice compromise. Like, I also suspect that if you peel off those side panels, there's a robot hiding under there.
More than
but
likely, sure.
The fact that you have side panels makes a big difference.
Yeah.
But no, I'm interested to see what this guy looks all colored up.
Wonder how long we'll have to wait. Probably a while.
Andy, take us on to a bit of ThreeZero for a minute.
Yeah, ThreeZero are doing the DLX scale. Transformers The Last Night Bumblebee. Bumblebee being Bumblebee. So we all know ThreeZero. They're the people that do the non-transforming things for the most part.
Action Masters.
On first glance, it looks like...
Now I'm doing it. Now I'm doing it. You happy world? Now I'm doing it.
It's a premium scale figure. It's going to be DLX size, so if you wonder what that is, that's going to be 8.5 inches tall. No word on the release date. Accessories are price, but they usually come between $150 to $200 US. There were also additional pictures released as well, which did show the accessories. So I can tell you about them. Oh, yeah, I think we got price as well. Bumblebee features LED lights, 60 points of articulation, 4 sets of hands, battle mask, cannon, hammer, and display stand. Bumblebee stands around 22 centimeters, which is 8.5 inches, which is what was guessed, and retails for about $180 US, and will be, so again, pretty much in the ballpark rumor that they were going for, and will be out in spring 2021. Did you want the additional pictures, Mikey?
Nah.
Okay. Wow. Fair enough. He is a very posable Bumblebee, or Bimblebee. He has all the accessories I mentioned. If you are in the market for a high-end looking Bimblebee from The Last Night, who can do all that lovely ThreeZero stuff that you like, then this will be an option for you. Mikey, I'm told that Bumblebee has different designs in each of the movies, but I always find it quite hard to tell, personally. Especially if you tell me now to remember what they all looked like, I'll be like, I don't know.
The chest is different.
This is the thing. If you put them all next to each other, sure, I'll be able to tell. You tell me to remember.
Got a hammer. He's got a hammer.
What?
That's different.
He do have a hammer. Yeah.
So none of the other ones had a hammer. I don't remember him using the hammer.
That's true. I think he used it in his fight with Prime on the top of the ship when Prime was all evil.
And he's exploding and then just like squicks himself back together because he's immortal.
Yeah.
Which.
Yeah. Yeah. That might be
his magic voice that wasn't fixed, but he could still talk. With the worst 80, like the fill-in 80 hour by the guy who did the sound effects. That's what they used. I'm not kidding. By the way, that was the guy who did sound effects and the audio design for Godzilla, actually. And he recorded the fill-in lines, and then they never got an actor to fill the role. And then, I remember they were going like, well, we felt he was really the best person to play the job. And I was just like, really? Because he sounds like a guy who's not a voice actor doing fill-in audio.
And, well, he was, I guess. Yeah, who knew?
But no, this game looks
Mikey,
alright.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If you're in the market for those big, thick boys, then this will be another big, thick boy that you can grab.
Save your money for that War for Cybertron. The Optimus Prime, remember, with the hammer. He doesn't have a hammer. He's got a bendy waist.
Okay.
That's all I could think of that ThreeZero was doing. Don't judge me.
Oh, fair enough. I can't even remember that one. They all kind of mushed together with more Bumblebees and more Optimus Primes. You know. Mikey, I want you to tell me about the Generations comic.
Yeah, we have the part 2 of the Abominus comic, otherwise known as Spike Has a Hole in Him. But yeah, so last time Spike got murdered. Can't really get past that. But yeah, so once again TFW put it up, and once again TFW put it up out of order.
Yeah, is it now in order?
I don't know.
think it is.
I didn't look. But
okay.
I don't care because they keep fucking it up. I'm just reading a translation. So in the underground chamber of Mother Computer, Rung holds dying Spike and saying like, "Sorry, man, my bad."
Oh, you were being enslaved.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah.
My bad.
Spike tells Rung to carry him to a storage chest. "My inheritance awaits. Please pick up my heart." Because he's bleeding all over the floor from the hole in his chest. Meanwhile, the Anglemois energy is erupting above. More and more Transformers are corrupted by it, including Rodimus for some reason, who turns him into Rodimus Unicronus, otherwise known as that wrestler guy everyone quotes.
The match.
Yes, that's the one. Megatron Omega, meanwhile, is perfectly fine. Computron takes his intelligence out of Volcanicus. The Autobot combiners make a move against Abominus, but with all the Anglemois, he's far too strong. So they split apart and combine. Who do they combine into, Andy? Comparion. This is a real thing. Comparion is a real combiner from... Yep.
Is he?
He is a real combiner who was invented in 1919, what was it?
Was it 4 or 5? Is it like Battle Gaia or something?
It was what was it from? From the Decisive Battles of Scrambles, which was a promotional poster, which showed which showed the Autobot combiners, and then you just all the different combinations that you could do with them.
Okay, yeah, so it's nothing. Yep. It's just, hey, here's a play feature, and we're going to kind of stick a name
meanwhile, Abominus falls on top of Bruticus and Menasor, and they combine into Abominaticus, who's also real. Abominaticus is also real. Underground, the Quintessons are watching the battle on a Slitherfang, which seems rude. But then they're attacked by Neo Cybertron X. Autobot X. Spike is back and living inside a modulator. So basically it's the modulator toys all stuck together to kind of give the vague outline of Autobot X.
Yeah, it kind of
the colors match up, I checked. But yeah.
Oh, does it? Okay. Nearly, because the head's not right.
So how does Rung incapacitate the judge?
I mean, I can see
but
the image.
But do you know what it's called in text and officially based on something taken from a script from Simon Furman?
Is it the Inseminator?
The Energon Enema.
Oh, wow, okay.
One of the games that Simon Furman was writing, one of the mobile games, he had Rung in it, and he included a line, Rung was offering someone an Energon Enema, which a psychiatrist should not do. That psychiatrist should not offer that. So basically, Rung takes out a Quintesson by giving him an enema. He then...
And Sakamoto read that and thought, we can use this, because Sakamoto is the deepest law.
No, someone looked up to the sun rising, and all they could see was it getting brighter as the idea hit him. So he then says, like, the Selectors and humans are now working together. Nice of you two to decide that for an entire planet. The judge says it's not as simple, and because they're not leaving, because the Anglemois wasn't just reacting to the evil intentions, but the darkness in man's hearts, and evil will rise in humanity. Optimus goes up against Megatron Omega and is trying to talk him down. Obviously, it's not working, and Optimus wants to shoot him, but he can't because, god damn it, that's Mayor Megatron. And Optimus is like, no, he's too good. But unfortunately, Megatron doesn't have the same problem and shoots him in the fucking face. He decides that he's going to wipe out all the humans on Earth and absorb all the Anglemois. He'll become more powerful than Unicron. Abominaticus doesn't like that, turns back into Abominus, and wants to show that he's the most powerful one, not Megatron or the Quintessons. The Judge is underground, and he's like, oh no, I'm being betrayed. Also, I've had a person plugged into me. But Autobot X is like thinking of Megatron's word. Maybe it would be better if the humans left the planet if everything they're doing is making the angle more unbalanced. Rung agrees and says he'll help, but he reminds Spike that Angle Moi is what's powering the Selectors, which is new. Optimus recovers because of his Matrix. And Megatron's his Matrix.
What? How's he recover?
It's called the Reconfiguration Matrix. So the Reconfiguration Matrix is not the regular Matrix. The Reconfiguration Matrix is from the G2 Toy Bios.
Oh my god. That lore, baby.
And also, after being shot by this, he now remembers everything that happened in the past comics. Because he had forgotten. So all the stuff that happened with Star Convoy and everything else. In the previous universe, basically. Where they find answers to the crisis currently going on. Abominus goes up against Megatron and Mega, but it's like Megatron just... You can take him apart, but you can... basically, because he was put back together by Unicron, it makes him super compatible with stuff, and you can take his head off and he'll just put it back on. Abominus gets knocked back and crashes. He frees the Spark trapped in his Hell Spark. Don't ask me what that is. I'm sure it's a reference to something. Optimus tells Wheeljack to grab all of those. Megatron and Mega shoots Abominus, goes to kill Abominus, but Volcanicus blocks it with his own Angle Moi sword. Optimus, knowing what must be done, orders the Dinobots to make a warp hole and go through it to discover the secrets to Angle Moi energy so they can turn Megatron back to normal, which is how the Dinobots ended up in the past. They go through, and a second later, the warp hole opens, and Primus and his gang from the previous comics come back and say they have lots of stuff to show and whatever. Meanwhile, on Planet Z, the Powered Masters have collected all the Zodiac energy and combined it to form a new matrix, the Silver Matrix. An explosion suddenly goes off, throwing the Powered Masters to the ground, and then Primus, who has come for the Silver Matrix with an entourage of golden warriors, including Starscream and Mindwipe. But Starscream says it's close to the future he envisaged, and a self-satisfied Primus notes everything is proceeding according to his grand plan. I don't think that's necessarily Primus. Another Primus is a dick.
I mean, he very well could be.
But why would you bring Starscream?
He's
why would you bring Starscream? Also, Sea Spray.
Well, I mean, they brought Beachcomber. And Sea Spray.
and Perceptor and other Soundwave. Proper Soundwave and other Other Soundwave is G1 Soundwave, right? Proper Soundwave is Beast Wars Soundwave.
Oh, is he
so
here?
Let me have a look at this.
I can't see where that Soundwave's meant to be. Because I remember that one. He was the weird, like, animal-to-animal transformer.
Crocketing. Okay, so we've got Primus writing the thing. We got Starscream Jazz, for some reason. Soundwave.
Yep.
Perceptor. Mindwipe. Let me see.
Was that a question about Mindwipe?
Oh, that is proper Soundwave. That's not Mindwipe. That's proper Soundwave.
But that's Mindwipe's body. That's the Titan's Return Mindwipe.
That is proper Soundwave. That's proper. Remember, proper Soundwave had a bat mode and a crocodile mode.
I guess they just decided to make him just a bat.
And he's in here because the toy is gold and has gold.
Fair enough. Well, he does. You don't know that.
Right.
You mean the original
also
one?
means like I'm expecting proper Soundwave to explode.
No, just turn to dust. Someone will sneeze on him and it'll just disintegrate.
So yeah, that is that one, Andy. Proper Soundwave.
It's as strange as ever.
Thank God. But
yeah, exactly. Fun read though.
Please save Mayor Megatron.
Yeah. So I'm guessing there'll be a part 3 to this rather than waiting for a new toy to come out to finish
I don't know. Like last time they did it, because it feels like it's going to a finale. Last time they did a special issue, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll wait and see, I suppose. But proper Soundwave.
Proper Soundwave. He's reels. He's 4 reels this time. It's fun as it usually is. Can you actually pre-order the figure or not at this point? The Abominus.
I haven't looked. Yeah, to be honest. I
don't know what they list him as. What they list him as?
Well, he's Abominus.
No, but what do they list him as on
Generation
sites?
Select?
Because most places don't have Generation Select.
I know a lot of places they do list him as.
Oh, Unite Warriors. He's listed under Unite Warriors. You know the
there were some comparison shots, and they did show that there's quite a lot of color differences between the. Yeah.
Yes, I saw them. Yeah, I was quite impressed actually. I mean, not like hella major, but nice changes at least. I'm like, damn, I really want to get him actually.
So,
he's 164
Yeah,
pounds.
but think about Megatronia. We all regretted missing her, and she's a lot. She's a lot more than 164 these days.
They should reissue her.
Yeah.
We've said it before. I'll say
Grand
it till I'm
Galvatron.
dead. They should have reissued
Megatronia.
it.
Please reissue these 2 toys.
They're not gonna.
Should.
They should.
Never say never. Stranger things have happened and all that jazz. No.
They
but hey, Trick Diamond showed up in a comic.
Yeah, it's true.
But hey, Andy. Take us on.
Okay, sure. We got some exclusive reveals for the next Galaxy Odyssey collection. Last time it was Micromasters. This time it is the Dominus Criminal Pursuit 2-pack. This 2-pack contains the Earthrise version of Barricade, and also for some reason the previously exclusive version. I think it was an exclusive to Amazon as well, oddly enough. Power of the Prime Punch/Counterpunch. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same. If
there is a color difference. It's now in Nightbeat colors.
Oh.
Yep.
Is it? You mean it's slightly lighter?
Well, I mean, if you see the two together, like Punch is like orange and not yellow.
Right.
Like
okay.
this.
Yeah. So it's basically in a lighter color scheme, lighter blue, and a more yellowy instead of orange color, I suppose, like you say. So it's a 2-pack. It's coming out the 1st of March. It's going to be $40. It's not, again, a super cool set, I don't think. But if you want that Barricade that we talked about, and we've talked about Barricade before, this is a way to get it. If you wanted the Punch/Counterpunch, but you missed out on the original one, this is another way to get it. Do you think this is? Do you like this set, Mikey?
I could just get the Siege Barricade if I wanted the Barricade.
I don't think you would, though. I think the Earthrise one does look better, because it looks like a better mold, even though the head's wrong.
€40. And it's...
What the... Oh, right, I see what you're saying.
I mean, I don't have that Punch/Counterpunch, and it does look like a decent toy. Not amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but decent.
Yeah.
So maybe? I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, I still think they are giving Barricade the wrong fucking head. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just not in love with either of these as a concept. What's your take on them?
No, I mean, it seems like a pretty... kind of just safe set. It's not a super interesting set, at least to me anyway, so I kind of just look at it and go, you know.
I mean, I do plan to pick up that Shattered Glass 2-pack, so...
Yeah, but that's only for one reason, and then there'll be a garbage figure that you don't really want as well.
Maybe I can sell
them. Yeah, good luck. Do you want a very slightly different coloured Ratchet?
A lot of people want that Ratchet mold.
Do they? Oh, the mold. Okay, I was going to say yeah, but I'm sure they'd rather have just normal Ratchet, though, right?
They'll take what I give them.
Damn, son. Damn. The last bit of news, because it's not really worth talking about, was Sky advert had Revenge of the Fallen Megatron featured in it for some reason. And I don't know why.
A child is kidnapping robots and trapping them in his television. And Iron Man.
And Iron Man. Yeah. It's meant to like trick you into subscribing to Sky. Because look at all the great adventures you can have.
You can watch Sky. Revenge of the Fallen.
And the new Star Wars trilogy. and the Marvel franchise movies, which neither you or I are into anymore. Yeah.
All the great.
Though for a kid, this would probably be a good sell, but to me and cynical Mikey,
but they wouldn't know who that was, would they? A kid, they wouldn't know who that Megatron was. They've never seen him.
Probably not. No, because Revenge of the Fallen is pretty old at this point.
And it was
when did Revenge of the Fallen
ago.
came out? Oh no! Yeah! Jesus, yeah, most kids won't know.
Been 2 years since Bumblebee.
Oh God! Wow. Wow. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's our news for this week, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. There probably won't be much more next week either, to be honest. No. But that's how it goes, my friends. So, Mr. Mikey, what have you been up to this week? You done anything fucking fun?
I found out Guillermo del Toro is doing a stop-motion horror version of Pinocchio.
Is he actually doing it, or is it just a project he really wants to do that will then inevitably be cancelled because it's a Guillermo del Toro thing and they don't ever want to let him do fun
I'm
things?
assuming it's going ahead because I think it's due out next year.
Okay.
So, but hey, stop motion, yay! Guillermo del Toro, yay!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm down with that. I like the idea. I like his movies generally, even if I like. What was the one where the woman wanted to fuck the fish?
Something of Sound of Water. Never seen it. Been meaning to watch
I think
it,
that
was
it. It was good. I mean, I didn't love it. It wasn't one of the ones that I was like, oh, this is top tier Guillermo. But I was like, yeah, it had his touch to it, so it was quite nice.
Wasn't there a sex scene in that?
I think
that
so.
That seems awkward. He'd probably be very cold.
And yeah, I don't imagine scales are very forgiving.
They go one way. Actually, technically, if he's a fish, what would happen is he release a cloud into the water.
That sounds really unsatisfying.
Not the most sexual event that's ever happened to anyone.
No. Maybe it is. Who knows? Who can tell?
Oh yes, I'm in a cloud. Yay!
It's what I've been dreaming of for all these years. Let me swim in it and breathe it in.
Oh God, maybe not do that.
Jesus.
But also, if you're opening your mouth to breathe underwater, you have bigger problems. Just I'm going to take a nice big breath.
No! Mistakes were made.
But yeah, so it was Halloween, of course, so I did nothing related to Halloween. Because
as it should be.
Because, hey, we're all in lockdown and I can't go do anything fun.
Would you have done anything for Halloween? Is Halloween a thing that you do stuff for? Wow. Wow, Mr. Social and popular.
Well, yeah, you see that.
Look at all the Halloween parties I get
it's called the outside world. We used to be able to walk in it freely. There used to be a thing where you could go outside and you could breathe and not taste cloth. And it was magical, Andy.
It seems so long. It was long ago. It's nearly literally a year at this point. Nearly.
What did I do? I watched the first episode of season 2 of Mandalorian.
Oh wow! Was it a life-changing experience that made you rethink what media is because it was so good?
No, it was good. I liked it, but it was fine. The episode was too long. They've done.
It wasn't genre-defining or anything like that.
Not really.
Would you say it didn't live up to the hype that people made for it?
I didn't see the hype, to be honest. I was you've seen what my hype is. My hype is focused in different directions. But my hype are anime girls and dinosaurs.
Fuck yeah.
And cavemen. If they can combine all those into one thing, I'll probably do well. But
if you go online, I'm sure there's probably something for you.
All you have to do is search Primal, and there are so many pictures of Fang as a human, or Fang as a furry, or whatever you call it, a dinosaur in that situation. But
no.
With the Fang as well, which looks really weird on a human face.
I'm not surprised because it's a big
it's a very big toot on one side of her face. But so basic story is he is now looking for the child's family, and goes to a Wild West town and helps them deal with an outside threat while also giving them a bit of a 1800s, we don't trust them, they're outsiders because then they're different from us and we all need to come together to deal with our problems, them there vibe. It was decent. Like, it really played to the strongest parts of Mandalorian, which were the space western, lone wolf and cub kind of stuff. I think the acting was alright. I think the visual effects were pretty good in this one. There is a bit of a kaiju element to it, so that works for me. The ending made a lot of people scream online, and I was just like, kind of obvious, and like, I had to actually check what was going on because I'm not that big a Star Wars fan. And then when I saw what it was just like, yeah, I think they confirmed that, didn't they? Because I hadn't. Okay. I won't spoil it for anyone, obviously, but it's a good show. It's not an amazing show by any stretch of the imagination. I've seen 9s and 10s and everything else. I'm just like, I love that we live in this wonderful age where everything is a 9 or a 10 or it's a 1 or a 2. Like, there's no reasonable... You either think it's the best show ever made or the worst show ever made. Like, I watched Angry Joe's review and I was just like, come on, you're smarter than that.
Yeah, but remember, he does much better video game reviews than he does, like, visual media reviews. Everybody says that. Like, the critique community are just like, Joe, you're good at games.
Just
like,
stop.
Come on.
It's a 7. It's a 7 series on average. It occasionally hits highs, but I don't think it ever really gets much higher than that.
Okay.
It had a real problem, this one. Like, there was not enough in the script. They made the episode way too long. And they have freedom to have it any length they want, so I would have trimmed it down a lot. But
do you think they're going to be doing the standalone
I think they
episodes
should.
again like they did for the previous season?
I think trying to do it through narrative will hurt this show.
Okay.
I think what the show is at its strongest in the standalone, they like as little story arc as possible episodes. The weakest episodes of season 1 were the ones tied into the arc. In fact, like I would say the weakest episode of season 1 was the last episode. I thought that was pretty poor, to be completely honest. A lot of mistakes made in that. But I think if they can just play it like this, it'll work. Like, I saw people going like, oh my god, this is such a game changer from season 1. And no, it's not. Pretty standard.
I saw a lot of those
pretty identical, to be completely honest. And that's good. You don't need to, like, there's no major new character added. And I don't care what anyone says, there's no major new character added. The structure's the same, Mandalorian's the same. It's I like their Tatooine's back again. Even, are there any other planets in the Star Wars universe? But I liked it. I liked the visuals. I just would not flip out over it on any stretch of the imagination. Like,
okay.
How do I put this? If you grew up in the 2000s, you saw this done better in a cartoon. This kind of tone.
What cartoon was that,
a cartoon about a samurai named Jack. He also did long periods of silence. But you've seen this done better in a lot of different mediums, to be honest. There are better movies, better TV shows, better cartoons, better animes. Like manga, the Lone Wolf and Cub manga does it better. A lot of the old westerns do it better, in all honesty. A lot of the old Japanese samurai movies do it better. But it's got Star Wars in it, so it must be either the best or the worst thing that ever happened. So
that's fandoms.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where the rest of the show goes. I'm not flipping out a table, but I will watch it. I really do like it. I just kind of get very bemused when people talk about it like, oh my god, it's reinvented fiction. Oh, it's so sublime. Is it?
I suppose from their perspective it might be, depending on what they've read or seen or heard or whatever.
Okay, if you're that sheltered, fair play.
I mean, not everyone's seen everything.
Have they seen anything?
Because I wouldn't think that. I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
Because it is very predictable. A very, very predictable series. But yeah, no, like, I would say, honestly, like, I would say if you enjoyed season 1, you're going to enjoy this. If you liked the middle of season 1 in particular, you're going to like this.
Right.
But, yeah. Also, this was a complete random thing. I ended up watching the first episode of Hyper Agent Gridman. Purely for reverse nostalgia.
It was free on YouTube or something. If I remember
from what I understand, they're going to be
right?
releasing an episode a week, but like the episodes are only staying up for 2 weeks at a time or something like that.
So what you're saying is you're going to be watching an episode each week because you really got into it, right?
It was bad. It was very, very bad. I read a review of it beforehand that was like glowing, and I was just like, okay. Like the characters are so well developed, and from the get-go, it's very good. And I watched it, and we're just like, oh my god.
I did try. I tried with it, but I didn't get that far. I can't remember where I got up to, but I was like, I can't.
The best thing about it is Gridman's design. He looks great.
Yeah. I think the sets look nice as well, like when he's in the computer world.
But like the acting's terrible. The script is atrocious. There's very strange direction. There's a weird thing where everything's like, I figured out what it was later on. No matter where they are, it's constantly filmed like you're looking through a monitor. So there's no wide shots or anything like that. It's all really up close, like someone is looking at you through a computer screen. So,
right. I wonder if that was deliberately done.
And there's constant moments where everyone's staring at the camera and talking.
I don't remember that. I'll tell you word for it, but I don't remember that offhand.
They'll be talking, and they're supposed to be talking to like each other, but then you'll realize they're just staring into the camera while they speak. And there's no one there. But oh
no,
the fight scenes weren't great either. But the fight scenes were very Ultraman. Like, and to be honest, the show feels really cheap. Really cheap. I was checking, like, it was a year when there was no Ultraman airing, and this was basically the fill-in. There's a new digital technology at the time. That was their first time using it, and it would go on to be kind of standard for how they approach things, like with special effects and things like that. But it was really cheap looking. Like, to me, Ultraman looks cheap anyway. Like, even modern Ultraman, like, if you compare it to other Tokus. Like, and I'm including, like, not just Sentai and stuff. Like, any Toku that's there in the last 10, 15 years. Like, Ultraman still looks cheaper than that, in my opinion, except for when you have a really good director. But
is Ultraman Toei, or is it a different company?
I believe it's Toei. It's Tsuburaya Productions. But I don't know if Tsuburaya Productions... No, like, Tsuburaya is their own thing.
All right, so it's so maybe that's why it's not as nice looking as, like, the Kamen Riders and the Sentais then, since it's a different company.
Certainly not, like,
perhaps.
Like, I don't know, like, I don't know what kind of... Like, Tsuburaya has been around for a very long time. I just don't know what kind of money they'd have behind it, you know? Oh, it was bad. Can't emphasize that enough. I wouldn't recommend watching it. I'd say if you want to watch Gridman, watch the really good Gridman. And if you want to watch Ultraman, I'm sure there's better Ultra shows. But I do want some Gridman merch, the original Gridman stuff, just because he shows up in the good one. What else? I had something else in mind. I ended up watching the first part of Kamen Rider Gaiden Greedon versus Bravo. So this is a 10-minute short, actually. Part 2 has aired, and it's another 10 minutes, but it's not subbed yet. Very rapid, very fast-paced.
I suppose it has to be if it's 10 minutes.
Honestly, not bad for what they're doing. The writer is the secondary writer from Gaiden, so he wrote a lot of the other Gaiden stuff. But he does get the characters. We are introduced to Bravo as he's sitting alone in a room in a very fancy chair, drinking wine, wearing a bathrobe, and with a towel over his head. And his phone rings, and it's Takatora, and on the phone it says Melon Prince. Also, nice.
In English.
Yes, and then Takatora gives him a message and says, like, by the way, this message will self-destruct, and his phone explodes. The basic story is it's set some years after Gaim, obviously. Junuichi.
Does it say when it's set after the Mr. Knuckle special?
Well, the Knuckle special is like within a year of Gaim, I believe.
Okay, so it'd be it's
and it's after the Zangetsu stage show.
Right. Oh yeah, that was the thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Greedon, Junuichi, has become a world-famous patissier and is a bit of a egotistical prick at the moment because he's on TV shows and dating models and stuff like that. And Oren Oren apparently quit being a patissier to leave him the shop because he thought he would be in a good care, but he's like very disappointed in how he's acting. Oren's gone back to being a murderer. As you do. And he gets hired by Takatora to kill a guy. Which is Junoichi.
Why is Takatora hiring him to murder
so far I don't know, but it's Junoichi. Because he says that someone has stolen Helheim fruit and plans to do something with it. And apparently it's Junoichi. Now, naturally, letting that stuff loose on the planet would be a bad idea. And Oren's like, well, I'm not going to murder him just because I'm told to. I'm like, he wouldn't do that. And then he gets attacked by Greedon. And then he's like, oh shit, he would do that. So he gets a rocket launcher. And blows up his car with him and his assistant in it. And then he gets attacked. He transforms into Bravo. He gets attacked by these big vines and gets transformed into Bravo King Dorian Arms, which is Bravo with a different color scheme and a cape. And then,
the cape's really badass.
And then he's about to attack Junoichi, and then another Greedon appears, and that's where the episode ends.
Oh my god!
But it's very fast paced. It's got not a lot of action in it, but I'm curious. Like, why is Takatora hiring someone to murder someone? Not really his speed. I won't lie, I have seen the fight clips from the next episode. Because actually, that's how I found out this was out already. So I do know it still boils down to don't fuck with Takatora. Because boy will fuck you up. But I'm curious, like, I don't know anything about the story. I'm very curious about where it goes. But yeah, like, it's more in line with the Brain special than anything else in terms of its pacing and stuff. So I'm not expecting this to end in a big, deep moment, but I'm having fun. And like when the music started up, I did sort of like go like, my boys.
Lads, the music's back.
But like, and then like when they cut to Oren and he's wearing that towel on his head, despite the fact he's bald as an egg. He's such a good boy. So yeah, now I'm curious. I think that, like I said, I'm expecting the next part to be sub soon. Oh god, what else? I'm up to episode 7 of Gundam X. So I'm taking my time with it.
Are you still enjoying it?
It's very 90s space western, but that's no bad thing.
Sure.
I like that they've sort of gone like, all this teen soldier thing that a lot of, from what I've seen, most Gundam things I've dealt with don't really lean into the kid stuff. Like the fact they're kids.
Yeah.
Like except for like divers or fighters, and even then Re-Rise didn't really do a lot of it. They're little adults in child bodies, whereas Gundam X, like episode 7, is just like, he's a teenager, he's fucked up at something, he's going to do something dumb, and I didn't punish him. You probably should have punished him.
Has he used the satellite
Yes,
cannon
he has
yet?
a few times. There was a big psychic backlash. There was much damage. The satellite cannon is overpowered for a Gundam universe. I'm just going to say, outside of like Turn A or something,
you can see where Wing came from, can't you? Like they went, here's the Buster gun, but they scaled it back.
Wing
a
came
bit?
first. I didn't realize that. I thought X.
Then they went further
I thought
in.
X was first, but no, it was Wing.
Yeah, last time we talked about it, you said it was Wing that was. No, you said it was X that was first last week.
I got my facts wrong, Andy. It happens occasionally. I'm not above saying that.
That's fair.
But so there was this is a mountain destroying cannon kind of thing.
Easily.
And like the fact that there was a whole sub militia of these things is kind of terrifying.
And yet makes sense, because the idea behind them was to kind of stop the colony
drops. I find the idea of mass-produced Gundams very interesting. Because it's just like, so kind of against the ethos of the Gundam itself.
Yeah, because it is meant to be a prototype.
Yeah, like, even like, if you go into something like Crossbone, there's multiple Crossbones, but even then they're all like experimental models. And this is like, no, at one point there was armies of these things. And which also is very interesting, because in the flashback you see X's, you see Air Masters, and you see Leopards. You don't see, like, there's 2 new Gundams after being introduced, and they are definitely not seen in the past. And they're both super monstrous, which makes me think they were made in the modern day.
Which ones are they? Red one and the black one, right?
Versaggio, I think they're called.
Yeah, I think they're the bad guy ones that haven't had
the red
model.
one looks kind of like... a cross between the Master Gundam and the Epion.
Yeah, I know one of them has the stretchy arms and looks basically like the Shenlong.
And has a big chest cannon.
I think that's the
well.
red one. Yeah, I really want those to get
models.
Yeah,
no, they haven't had one in a long time.
I think the last one they had was their original release.
Which is interesting because they're kind of designed I would have expected to get something. Like even a Reborn 100.
They are bad guys. It's Gundam. It's after all Gundam X.
Reborn 100.
The RX-78.
I know, but I would say like Reborn 100 would do something with it because they do all the weird stuff. They did the B one, Andy. They did the B.
They did. They did. I think it's a matter of time because we've got a lot of the X ones at this point. Not all of them. There's still a lot to do.
Like we've got
we've
even got the Daltrus, and the Daltrus is like the Mook.
Yeah. Well, usually they try and get Mooks out, and I mean they got the Mook out because it was in Re-Rise.
I will say it looks better in Re-Rise as well with that head design.
I would agree.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm curious. Like they're laying out the characters still. I know it's one of the shorter Gundam shows. I know it comes in about 40 episodes. So I'm almost a quarter way through it. But
like I say, it does feel a little bit rushed by the end, where it really could have done with the extra numbers to it.
But no, I'm into it. I'm still not loving the X as a design. I know it gets upgraded later on, so when that shows up, maybe I'll have a different opinion. But like it's the backpack that really throws me off because it's either like off center or it looks like a weird K. It annoys me. But yeah, the other thing I did was I started rewatching Symbionic Titan, which I haven't seen since it aired.
Oh wow!
Many a moon ago. Because obviously I'm on a bit of a Genndy Tartakovsky kick at the moment. Because Primal's ending tonight. Season 1 anyway. But yeah, like for anyone who doesn't know, because I'm sure a lot of people don't, Symbionic Titan was a 2010 show directed by Genndy Tartakovsky. Got cancelled early. They did complete the season, but it had plans for a second season, but it got cancelled because two reasons actually. There was toys. There was a really Cartoon Network at the time was like, if it's not getting toys, it's apparently because of Ben 10. If it doesn't make toys, it doesn't get made. And they were like, well, we don't want to just market, but we're not doing a marketing show. We're doing a show. And if you can make products of it afterward, but we're not signing up for 10 years of toys like Ben 10 does. And also apparently there was a big shift in the people who were working at Cartoon Network at the time. And the people who basically brought in Genndy Tartakovsky originally left, and new people came in, and they were just like, well, yes, but we're looking at the figures. Yes, we have the show in the works. It's called Teen Titan Go. We think it'll be very entertaining. So apparently there was just not a great relationship, and everyone who was working on it, by the time they came to season 1, they were just tired and they didn't want to fight for it, basically. But yeah, it's a fascinating show. I haven't seen it in years. Aliens show up on Earth, very human, one's a robot, and they disguise themselves as people, and they have the ability to combine into a giant robot and fight aliens. That's the basic premise, but oh boy, very deep story. Definite stakes and definite cost to those stakes. A lot of violence. Samurai Jack level violence without the robots, shall we say. A lot of character stuff with the main three. Very, very good animation. Very, 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 very good. It's kind of fascinating because there's multiple different styles represented in different characters. Some look very, very Genndy, whereas Lance looks like he's straight out of Battle of the Planets or Voltron or something like that. I can see that. And other characters look like they're a different style as well. Also, and this is something I definitely didn't remember. Holy crap! The stuff they get past the censors. How?
Yeah.
How?
Do you remember the cheerleader who's twerking in one episode?
That's mild compared to some of the other stuff. Because there's before that, there's a bit where two girls are walking down the road. We get a back shot of their asses, full on, boom, 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 boom. And then they walk up to a guy and stick their chest out so he can pin a pin on their boobs. Pin a pin on their boobs. And there's a lot of sexualization. There's a lot of violence. This is like this feels to me like the prototype for Samurai Jack season 5, because this feels to me like Gendy was saying, how far can I push this before someone pushes back?
I wonder, because it was quite a few years before Samurai Jack season whatever came out.
Yeah, and like, you know, he was still like pushing for a movie at the time as well. Like Gendy spent 10 years pushing for a Samurai Jack movie before he got okayed for season 5.
Because I think Samurai Jack got cancelled because of toys as well, basically.
Yep, and also it didn't get a movie because the Powerpuff Girls movie didn't make a lot of money.
Because it wasn't very good.
Because the people involved in it didn't want to make it.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you get to rewatch the Pet from Space episode?
Not yet. I'm in the first half still.
Okay, so you've avoided sadness.
Yeah, sadness has not hit me just too yet. I've got awkward robot. Like, do I find this hot? I think I find this hot. And we've had the deep psychological trauma of my dad died, and my brain has now warped it into he was eaten by vampires. And like the gross thing about a guy getting an entire person shoved down his throat that you watch happen.
Yes.
And yeah, good fight scenes, and John DiMaggio's in it, and like he's great. And the worst thing about it is Lance's voice actor. He is the weakest performance in the show.
And he's still not.
He's not terrible. He's not great.
He is noticeably not. Yeah,
he's playing against Tara Strong.
I would agree there.
Like that's just not fair.
And I don't think it ever got released. Did it? Did it get a Blu-ray or a DVD or something? It definitely didn't get one here in the UK.
It didn't get the mega treatment. Like they could bring it back if they wanted to. I've heard rumors he's been pushing occasionally to see if he could do something with it, but I don't know.
I'd be okay with him doing that.
If only there was some sort of medium that's like he's making a butt ton of money off of at the moment. And he could put shows out on that channel. If only. So who knows? But yeah, like there was
I'd be alright with him finishing it off.
I'd be very happy. Like just because like I don't remember much about how it ends. Like Tim Ross is in it. I didn't realize that either. Tim Ross for like 2 vox in this. What? And he's very good as a voice actor. In all honesty.
How did he not? He's good.
Yeah, I don't think he's done a lot. He should consider doing a lot.
No.
He's not Phil Lamar, but he's pretty good. But, yeah. Also, I figured out a way that you could actually put this, Primal, and Samurai Jack all in one universe, but... Because I want a crossover. But, yeah, no, seriously, if you haven't seen Symbionic Titan, I highly recommend checking it out. It's very, very good. And surprisingly good. Like, really caught me off guard. Is there anything of note apart from those? Not really. Watch a lot of YouTube, listen to a lot of music this week, because we're like with the schedule at the moment. If I'm not working, I'm thinking about working, so it's like stuff I can pay attention to. A lot of podcasts this week.
No,
not. I didn't get anything this week. No, yeah, that's me.
We did record a Poopcast. Yeah,
I'll be sending the audio for that tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah, the comic show will probably go up, I guess, probably Tuesday, something like that for Patreon at least. I think that probably makes the best sense. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, shall I move on to me? My things?
I don't think anyone cares after me, but
too bad. We're gonna do it anyway. I watched Made in Abyss, movie 3, Dawn of something. So what's the full title of the thing? What's it called? Dawn of the Deep Soul. So it's the sequel, basically the sequel mini season, I suppose, to the series, because movies 1 and 2 are recap of the season. So movie 3 is very much like the Konosuba movie. It's the next season, but in a movie format. So it was very good, very, very good. The villain is very interesting, and he's not a nice person, but he justifies all of the things he's done and is doing, and still says that he loves all the people he's done them to. And in his own way, he kind of does.
How would you explain Made in Abyss to people who hadn't seen it?
A really silly young girl decides to go into a place she shouldn't. It's like if a 8-year-old said, okay, I'm going to travel through Africa on my own. What could go wrong, but worse?
Yeah, at least you can jump.
Is that
you
fair?
Can jump in Africa.
You can, yeah. When you imagine going into Africa but not being able to go back the way you came, and if you did go back the way you came, you would suffer horrific pains. At best. Though remember, each layer has a different thing you go through, so she's not coughing up blood anymore. In this layer of the abyss, when you try and when you try to climb back up, you lose all sense of touch and feeling. And subsequently, all sense of self.
See, that might work in your favor.
So, you'll squeeze your teeth too much, and she loses a few teeth because she squeezes her jaw too tightly because she has no idea. I was going to
say that might work in your favor if you're trying to get her up quick. Cause
yes.
I'm numb to everything. Whee!
No, they have a really interesting visual sequence of like her in a white void, being like, "What am I? Who am I? Oh God, I should be able to feel what's up, what's down." I don't know, and then like she kind of dissolves in this kind of symbolic thing of like completely losing herself to feeling absolutely nothing.
I think I said to you before, like, God, you wish people had like stairs must just be like the ultimate enemy in that world.
Yeah, or just be a robot. If you're a robot,
I've left something upstairs. It ain't coming down.
No, I should have got something else instead. Because it doesn't seem to be any way to like counteract this stuff. It's gonna happen if you go back up. You're gonna get hurt.
Yeah, but like something that like in the first show they established was that people do come out of it.
So, well, they come out of certain points of it, but I'm sure they have to still go through all of the.
Yeah, but we've seen what some of the stuff will do to you, and it's just like I don't think you'd come back from that.
I'm pretty sure they said that Bone Rat, who's the main villain of the movie here, is one of the guys whose experiments were the things that and the technological advances were the things that allowed the explorers to get back and forth easier. I think they mentioned that in season 1 because they kind of. I don't think they reiterate it here, but they do mention that in season 1. I haven't seen that
in so long.
Same. But, I only knew because I watched a video afterwards. On it afterwards to see what the other people thought of the movie, and they mentioned that, and I went, oh, yeah, they did mention that, I suppose, because that had been a long time for myself as well. So, it's like I say, it's very good. If you're someone with a weak stomach, then it may not be for you, shall we say. But I think it's a very good anime. It's a very, very engaging, makes you go, very good, very good. I'm also pretty much done with Star Trek's Next Gen as well. I watched Best of Both Worlds last night while I was eating dinner. That's a really good two-parter, Mikey. That's a fantastic two-parter, and it is even more frustrating
It's a happy ending that tells you that they'll be okay.
It's not even that. It's character growth. It's the character growth of Captain Picard. Character growth which they completely nuke in the series Picard.
No, they don't.
Last scene of the two-parter episodes, the last episode, he goes in and he joins the card game and he says, I should have done this long ago, sooner. But then obviously in Picard he's all alone and no one really talks to him. So it's like, well, I guess he didn't learn shit.
But Andy, that's just old age. People abandon you. You're old.
It's so annoying. So annoying. That is a good two-parter. It's a fun one. And Q, again, presenting himself as an antagonist, but not actually being an antagonist, actually being the guy to help, just in a slightly mean-spirited way. Best described from Data as a master with a puppy, or something like that. It's like, wow, yeah, that's kind of true and kind of apt. Everybody around the table looked really insulted when Data said that, and I thought to myself, well, it's not wrong. Compared to Q, technically, we would be like that. Here's a question, though, Mikey. If I remember right, Q leans into to Picard to whisper why he helped him, and he didn't actually answer.
Yeah, well, it's Q.
What do you think the answer could have been? I think it could have been something like his suggestion might have been something like humanity has the potential to be something like the Q.
Maybe. I think he was telling him he thought he was hot.
I mean, that could also be the thing, it's Q. That's the last time Q was really well written as well, because then he appeared in Voyager, so yeah. we don't worry about that. So I did that. Obviously, I've been streaming, doing some more Monster Hunter and stuff like that. We did the podcast. I uploaded the Halloween one where me and Nicole talked about paranormal woo-woo and all that kind of junk and crap. And I got to see my buddy Matt, which was fun. I hadn't seen him for a while, and I picked up a Games Workshop Necron kit. So I've painted that. Well, I'm in the process of building that. Excuse me. And did I get anything else? I don't think I did. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not like as ever. It's not the most exciting time, but I'm getting a new boiler this week, so yeah, fun times ahead. We're basically gonna have no heating for a day and a half or something like that, so that'll be fun.
Yay!
Fun times. Mikey, we have some stuff, some messages.
Do.
I should have got to this last week, but I didn't see it, to be honest, in my emails. Tentamon4 said enough nonsense. Let's talk Transformers. Like, what if Soundwave had yellow eyes when he is off duty and chilling with his crew, but red eyes when he's on duty and all professional? Also, I've read Black Panther and Agents of Wakanda, and it reminds me a lot of the pre-movie Guardians of the Galaxy, as it's a team up with randos on a crazy adventure like the moon is hungry and trio of dragons are attacking the base. Might be worth a look. Tenderman 4. He also says, sorry, I can't catch your streams, Andy, as I'm in a different time zone. Don't worry about it. Lots of people are in different time zones. If you ever are interested, they are stored on my Twitch page. Don't ever feel... I always say this to people in chat as well. Don't ever feel like you have to consistently come to my streams. Just come in if you like. If you can't, it's all good. So what do you think about these questions?
I mean, I would ask, yellow is such a sickly color. Does that mean he's got jaundice? And he's just wearing... He's wearing it's like wearing the fake glasses over your eyes. It's just nah, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm on the job.
He's got his hippie eyes, basically. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, no, I think there's wisdom there.
I would rather than they just don't, personally. If you're gonna do something like that, do it like Hot Rod did in the movie and have the shades kind of come down over his eyes. That'll do. Rather than it's an interesting way to justify. That sounds like a Sakamoto way you justify the different colored eyes. But I'd rather they just be red because they just work better visually as a color scheme. Have you read Black Panther and Agents of Wakanda, Mikey?
No, I haven't actually read any Black Panther comics.
Okay. Would you be interested?
They sound interesting that way.
See, I've never been desperately interested in Black Panther as a character ever, and even in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, he was the most boring character of all of them because he was like Tony Stark but without the personality. That's how I remember him from Earth's Mightiest Heroes, anyway. So it's like him and Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Like Moon Knight's just kind of more violent Batman. It's like, yeah, I'm all right. They've never done anything for me. Now, if they did something like they did with the Taskmaster miniseries, and it was like Black Panther versus the Dawn of the Dead, I'm in. I'd read that shit, mainly because of the Dawn of the Dead being there. But that ain't gonna happen, because people don't respect the mariachi menace. And they should. We all like the Dawn of the Dead. We get a little link from Christoph Carlson. Well, Mikey, if you want more grimdark giant robots, then give this 40k film a try. Even if it's just a subplot, the main story is what I would jokingly call the anti-Gundam, as it's about an old man being grumpy that he can't go to war, as someone has to guard the base. Oh, it's Warhammer Hell's Reach. I haven't watched this. It's a big fan-made thing.
Right.
I'll send you the link. It's not a short thing either. It's long. 2 hours. 2.5 hours.
It's a long time to be sulking about not going out and murdering people.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, son. Do you have questions,
I don't
Mikey?
today, no.
All right. Do you have any just general questions with life? The meanings of the universe?
I do wonder what it's all about, Andy. What's it
I
all
don't.
about?
I've given up with that shit.
Andy.
It's not worth it. Don't worry about it. That's all I'd say. Don't worry about it. Just go and shark and you're good.
Family chat.
What else does it have to be?
Fuck.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you.
I literally can't see anything that says frequently asked questions on it anymore. I realized that.
Yeah, Miko's.
Yeah, I can't. I've just burst out laughing.
She's everywhere, Mikey. She has.
Oh no, I have been. That's something I have done. Like, there's been a lot of clips going around, like her Minecraft stream and her horror game stream, and the Minecraft stream where she was going in a straight line and somehow managed to get off a cart and then break an entire system that everyone else had working perfectly.
What?
Like one of them, I think it was Hachmed. They built a roller coaster, which ends in death. Right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So she was going down the roller coaster and somehow got out of the cart, ran to catch up to it. The cart stopped, but now it didn't have enough speed to go up the other side of the roller coaster. And then she had a 3-way pile up with her, Hachima, and Toa going backwards and forwards for like 5 minutes until Hachima murdered them both. And then at the end when they finally got to the end of the thing, she landed in a tree when she was supposed to fall to her death on a fiery pit below. And then the other two landed on top of her. So it's just, you just see this pile of minecarts in Minecraft with balancing out people's heads. And like, everyone else is laughing and she's just screaming, "Oh God, it hurts!"
There can be no peace within Hollow Live. There can only be war.
And no, you get like, I've been enjoying it. Like, Korone had her like 1 million thing, which was quite sweet. Because she just played a game where she went around kissing everyone. Because of course she did.
That sounds about right.
So that's 2 of them up to 1 million now.
Cool.
It's a fun thing to watch.
It is, yeah. It's very watchable. I'm still watching Gura a lot. She works a little shark tail off. She does like a pretty long stream, seemingly almost every day. So very, very good to just kind of slap into the background, I should say. So unless you've got anything else, Mikey, I suppose we should end the show.
Because I've been called away as well while you were here, so I'm going to have to duck away. But
all right, okay. Summoned. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me being summoned. You can find me on Twitter with Irish Paleo, and if you want to send us anything, you can send us an email at moonbase2@gmail.com, or you can send it themoonbase2@gmail.com rather. You can send it over on Twitter and Facebook on Libsyn, on CC Bunker, on Patreon, everywhere else, anywhere you can think of messaging us. Smoke signals, pigeons, whales. I'm sure you can leave a message in a whale. Get a blowtorch and leave a message in a whale. Environmentally sound.
It's perfectly okay. The whale won't explode when it's beached.
If it does, you have other problems. What about you, Andy?
You can find me on Twitter, CCTFW, YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums, Facebook, Libsyn, iTunes, Patreon as Moonbase 2 Transformers podcast. Sorry, that's the YouTube Moonbase 2 Transformers podcast. You can find us on Patreon as Moonbase 2 and do $2 each month, and you get the extended version of From the Files of Teletran 2 and the Moonbase Woo Woo, and the comic show is extended as well with the extra stuff for the actual Transformer comic that we actually want to talk about this month, because there's only
this
one.
month we have done Annihilation Book 1 for the main show, and Transformers 84 issue 4 for the Patreon show.
That's right. And if you want to find my Twitch, it's CCTFW on Twitch. And like Mikey said, you can also find the podcast on the ccbunker.weebly.com as well. So, since Mikey has been called away to the lands of the Dark Descent, we shall head away. And thank you, everybody, once again, to tuning in and listening to us talk about absolute bollocks. Thank you, Mikey, for joining me. And until next week, everybody, we will see you next time.
You are now leaving Moonbase 2.